What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back to start a new deep dive, and this is one that's been waiting in the wings for quite some time, and I really do appreciate Nikola not only for sharing a whole bunch of music with us, which I've begun to go through in only the earliest stages, most notably with Susie and the Banshees, but yeah, he shared Joni Mitchell's material a while back, and then maybe a month ago, I was finally getting ready to go through it, and then for some reason there was an issue with the first folder, and again, given that he's shared a whole expanse of her material, I felt like we'll go through it in chronological order, so then there was a bit of a delay for me getting back around to the possibility of starting it, but yes, here we are. We're finally going to begin the Joni Mitchell journey, and the first album, 1968, though we are working from the 2021 remaster, I should point out, is Songs to a Seagull. I like the simple and visually evocative lyricism of the title. The first track is called I Had a King. I should mention, Joni Mitchell, it's a name I've known since I was younger, but it's always just been a name. I've had some sense that she has a significant place in music and pop culture history, or her status in those worlds is significant, but it's just never an artist that I think I've heard myself. Now, maybe along the way there'll be tunes that I'll recognize, but at least starting out of the gate, I could not even tell you a single song. So I'm particularly excited for this deep dive, and again, shout out to Nikola for your patience in this regard. But the first tune is called I Had a King, which is an interesting phrase. The use of the past tense verb had would suggest this person no longer has a king. One wonders whether we're talking about an actual monarch or perhaps a king in terms of someone who commands or is otherwise, confident in their regal status. I do wonder, what nature, what type of metaphor, what figurative reading. Maybe on some level it could be a literal reading and still be about a particular narrative, if it, despite relating to a king proper. But yeah, ultimately, I don't really have any rubric for evaluation when it comes to her songwriting, so I don't know, how cheeky or literal her titles might be. So let's jump into it. This is 1968 from the album Song. Is it from or for? I just forgot. Song to a Seagull. It's neither. 1968, and the track is called I Had a King.
Lately he's taken to painting the pastel walls brown. He's taken the curtains down. He's swept with the broom of content, and the rooms have an empty ring. He's cleaned with the tears of an actor who fears for the laughter sting. He's taken to saying I'm crazy and blind. He lives in another time. Ladies in gingham still blush while he sings them of wars and wine. But I, in my leather and lace, I can never become that kind. They marriage too soon. Beware of the power of moons. There's no one to blame, no, there's no one to name. There's a traitor here. The king's on the road and the queen's in the grove till the end of the year. I can't go back there anymore. You know my keys won't fit the door. You know my thoughts don't fit the man. They never can. They never can. They never can. They never
Wow. Such a rich opener. Okay, number one, her voice. It feels like she can do so much with it. That's just one song, but I heard, her floating and then sliding down and then being more forceful and powerful and then like rising with great power. Like just the vocal agility or versatility I heard on that first track makes me very intrigued. And indeed, there was a moment where I was like, oh, it's reminding me of Kate Bush, but I get it. This is like a decade before Kate Bush gets going. So yeah, really interesting vocal performance, and a very dynamic vocal performance, and a very rich, lush voice. And then yeah, it sounds like someone who's fallen out of love with someone she used to think very highly of, but now recognizes that, like her mind doesn't fit with him. Maybe he's old fashioned, but then it was like he took me to his kingdom and we married too early, and it was like, wait, so is this actual, like, maybe it's a period piece, maybe it's a historical reference to, some woman who married a lord or indeed a king, in an actual episode. But I do also wonder whether that was just sort of the phrasing. But either way, it sounds like, her keys don't fit the lock anymore, which is obviously a more modern phrasing. So yeah, it sounds like there's been a divorce or perhaps just a separation. But either way, I do wonder whether there was an implication that it's maybe because he was sort of antiquated in his thinking and behavior toward her. So yeah, ultimately, again, I'm like as new as you can be to Joni Mitchell's material, so I don't quite know how to evaluate, her lyrics, but really cool opener, a scene or a tone-setting track for the rest of the album, or at least, the way now I'm thinking about what the rest of the album can be. So yeah, ultimately, shout out once again to Nikola. I'm sure a number of people will be familiar with her material. Again, the name Joni Mitchell is a name I remember hearing early on. It's just never a journey I took. So happy to do it now, and it does feel overdue. So shout out once more to Nikola for the patience. Do let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.